everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Sekani, a podcast for people in their 20s who are trying to figure out life and not get lost along the way. Today, I'm joined by Brylye Collins, who helps singles build self-love, emotional clarity, and find love intentionally, not desperately. We are diving into self-worth, healing, modern dating, and what it really means to build healthy relationship. Bryley, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled.
Um, I'm particularly excited about this one because it has to do with love, right? Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's start
So
from the beginning. What
yeah.
personal experience led you into, helping singles focus on self-love and intentional dating?
Yeah. So a little bit about me and a backstory. So my career has been around talent acquisition, recruitment, career coaching, and leadership development. And it was about 2.5, 3 years ago, I was working with some of my coaching clients, and they had said to me, you know what, Briley? My job is impacting my home life to the point that it's destroying my relationship, and I might be getting divorced, and I need to find a position that's going to really help me have a good relationship at home. And for me, at that point in time, I had been divorced since 2019 and was a single mother of 3 kids. And I decided that I was going to go back and get my certification in relationship coaching because relationships affect every piece of people's life, not just necessarily work, but, it's your home life, it's dating, it's how you show up as a child or a parent or a friend. And so that's where the work with building with Bry started. And it originally was Thriving Solo. So building Bry and Thriving Solo is my singles empowerment coaching that I do because so many people right now are struggling that are not in a partnership, or maybe they're living alone, whether it's from, not dating, or maybe they're an empty nester, or maybe they just got divorced or had a death or had a relationship, a long-term friendship that ended. But how do you process those emotions and feel full within yourself as you're moving through life, waiting, looking for that next partnership or relationship? But how are you the best version of you? So when you go get into that next relationship, whatever that looks like, that you're set up for success and you've done that healing work so you're not repeating the same mistakes over and over.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, in your experience, what does, real self-love actually look like beyond social media quotes and all?
Well, really understanding yourself takes practice, right? So we do things on a daily basis, like we go to the gym, to stay fit and externally look good. We go to see therapists maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, but that's an hour of your time that you're really getting to, go through that work of, non-judgment and really unpacking things. But knowing yourself is a daily practice. It's not something that you can do for an hour a day. I mean, you can do it for 5 minutes a day. It could be some simple little step that you just incorporate into what you're doing, but you have to constantly be doing the work and really practicing understanding what it is you want out of life, what your feelings need, and how your body responds to stress or things that are not right for you, and being able to intuitively pick up on that without needing external validation that you're right or that you're feeling a certain way. Like, you should be able to understand what's going on with yourself, because then you can respond appropriately in whatever those relationships look like, and have intentional conversations, but also gain that clarity of who you are, what your goals are, and what your needs are moving forward in a relationship, and not necessarily that box that society puts all of us in and tells us it should look like. No, what does it look like for you? Do you want, and I'm going to spin back here to dating a little bit, but do you want a friends with benefits situation? Are you looking for marriage? Are you looking to start a family? Do you want somebody to just be a companion with and go out to dinner with? Like, what do you have in your space right now in your life? And can you articulate that to the people that you meet intelligently and understand it? Or are you just leading your life based out of fear and with what other people are telling you it should look like, not how you know it should be?
Okay, wow. All right. So I feel like what I'm about to say is a bit out of context, but like you said, this whole friends with benefit concept, do you think that's okay for the mental health? I
I
don't know.
it depends on where you're at, right? In that mental health journey and getting to know yourself. Like if you know that you can have a friendship with somebody and have that intimacy, but not let it impact the way you look at yourself from a self-worth value, and that those expectations are clearly defined within that relationship and you feel comfortable and the other person feels comfortable with it, that's completely up to you. If you do not have those defined, though, it's an absolute nightmare, and
Mhm.
somebody is always disappointed. So it comes back to communication and being able to articulate who you are as an individual, what your needs are, and being clear about it. So, because people love to hear what they want to hear, right? But that
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you actually understand or really get a full look at what they actually mean and what they want. So.
Wow. All right. So, why do you think, yeah, like so many people struggle with healthy relationships today, even though, information is everywhere?
Mhm.
Mm. So,
Yeah, so information is everywhere, right? And it's getting thrown at us all day long. Most people wake up out of the bed, and first thing they do is they turn around and they look at their cell phone to see
mm.
what notifications are out there. It's like instant. And in addition to that, there is no waiting because everything you can find out within seconds. And that goes with dating too, right? So people will go on there and they'll feel bad about themselves, right? Maybe they got out of a breakup, or maybe they just got divorced, or maybe they're looking for love and they're ready to do that. But so many people are out there and haven't done the work and they're putting their best foot forward, right? Like, I don't look like this when I wake up in the morning at all. I
Mm.
mean, there's a variation of me. I look like myself, but I don't have makeup on. My hair's not done, things along those lines. And everybody's human. What we see on social media is somebody putting their best foot forward. Okay. That's not who they are on a daily basis. And depending on what angle you can stand at or maybe shift your camera to, you can look like a totally different person. You can have a totally different body shape than actually what it looks like when you're just being you in person. So, with that, I think it really impacts, people's view of what's normal if that's all they've seen, right? And same goes for dating. Like if men are on there and us women are putting, tons of filters on and, looking our best and putting our best foot forward. Well, if those pictures are from 2 years ago, your body could have changed. Maybe you don't look like that anymore. So, but this is what men are expecting to see now is women that have a certain look or, are in that perfection mode all the time. And that is what they're going after rather than real human people. So there's a lot of algorithms out there and instant gratification, but not building those true relationships, right? Like when you bump into somebody on the street and you have a conversation, you're like, wow, we connected. I want to keep meeting this person and I want to know about them. Like there is a process that goes along with it, opposed to, well, you know what? I didn't love what Joy just said. So I'm just going to ghost her and swipe left and move on to what's next, right?
Yeah.
So there isn't those communication and working together and trying to resolve problems because everything is really instant gratification and disposable with everything at our fingertips.
Okay. Wow. All right. So, how important do you think, emotional healing is before, going into any relationship? And I would actually like to know what happens if you've not healed emotionally and then you proceed to go into a relationship. What could the damages be actually?
Yeah. So an example of this that I love to discuss. So I currently am single myself, and right now I'm focused on my career and my kids and all that fun stuff. But part of my career is matchmaking, right? And helping people learn about relationships. So I do download the apps. And if I just happen to meet somebody that is my partner along the way, great. But if not, a lot of the times I'll download it just for research to see, how people are communicating, how quickly they're getting back to me, what it's like being on the market on these dating apps so I can go back and work with my clients on it. And with that, there's a lot of individuals on the apps that haven't done the work, right? Have you ever gotten out of a breakup and maybe you just felt so bad about yourself? You're like, I'm going to download Tinder or I'm going to download Bumble or whatever the app is that you currently are using. And I'm going to put my best photos out there. And guess what? Somebody's going to like me. And then it's going to give me that boost, right? That I'm wanted and that people need me. I haven't done the work yet because I just broke up with my boyfriend the night before and I haven't even finished crying yet. So now on the flip side, you have people on that app that are like, wow, I am so excited to meet this person and they must be ready for a relationship because they're on this dating app. But in reality, they're not because they just broke up with their boyfriend the night before and they're still in their sweatpants eating ice cream and depressed and crying, but they haven't done the work to process any of that yet. So now, not only are you not in a good mental headspace to start a relationship, but the person on the other side of it is going to be set up for failure from the beginning because you haven't done the work. So not only are you feeling bad about yourself, but now you're making somebody else feel bad about themselves, in addition to it, just for your quick fix to make yourself feel better. So,
Wow. So, how, let's say, what would you advise people, who just came out of a relationship? How would you advise them to heal? Because healing is actually, it's difficult, right? It is difficult for some people. Yeah,
yeah.
especially those who have, sacrificed lots of years in the relationship. So how would you advise them to, get out of that feeling and be ready for, life and other relationships, basically?
Yeah. So, first things first, like naturally, you want to, first of all, process what's going on. And for that, that could look like journaling, right? Just write all your feelings down, just I call it a brain dump, where you just literally put everything that you have going on inside your head, whatever that feeling looks like, the emotion, the anger, well, I didn't like this situation that they did, and just write it down on paper, get it out of your brain. Because sometimes just even acknowledging it and putting it on paper will help solve some of the things that you need to unpack, right? And when you look at it on paper, it's very concrete, right? It's no longer an emotion just going through you. So I always recommend take some time, journal, get out into nature. Right? Vitamin nature fixes everything. If you stay at home, curled up under your covers and you're watching Netflix and eating pizza or maybe going and just drinking a bottle of wine to drown out those feelings, guess what? That's an easy, quick fix. And yeah, from a comfort level, it might fix, that give you that security feeling in the moment, but it's not processing it. Go out and get some fresh air and get away from computers, get away from your cell phone, just get out into nature and let that kind of energy flow through you because it will definitely help reset your brain to step away from the environment that you're in. But through that, really just start to recognize, like, was I part of the problem? In a relationship, it's relational, right? There's got to be two
Yeah.
people to participate. So, what was your role in the relationship and maybe why didn't it work out? I don't like to personally use labels for people because I think at the end of the day, right, these are all experiences that were shaped through our childhood. And yes, we can put a title on it, right, and say, oh, well, they're an anxious avoidant or they're a narcissist or they're, whatever it might be for the day. But at the end of the day, they just have unresolved trauma or learned behaviors from things in childhood that they haven't processed, or maybe they don't know how to handle or not even realize that it is a problem because in
Mm.
their circle, it's been socially accepted for so long. So, really understanding what was your role in the relationship and why did it go south? And how could have you impacted that moving forward? You can't change the past, but what you can do is take that information and use that to set yourself up for success in the future. So you really take that time to get a strong understanding of who you are and what your role was in that relationship. But then in addition to that, let the person go. Like, don't hope that they're going to come chasing back to you, right? Because at whatever they were feeling in that moment that the relationship ended, honor how they feel, right? Like, let's have that conversation. And typically, people are telling you stuff because they feel that way, right? So if they don't
Yeah.
want to be in a relationship with you, why are you forcing it? Why are you trying to convince them to come back? If they need space, give them their space. And if they come back, great. If they don't, then you know what? Better off because you just dodged a bullet of maybe possibly being in a 15-year-long marriage that you're absolutely miserable because they don't want to be with you, right? So allow people to do what they need to do and listen to what they're saying to you. And typically your
Wow.
answers are right there.
Okay. All right. Okay. Most times, right, people in relationships don't even know that they're, dating someone toxic, right?
Mhm,
I've seen cases like that. They don't know, or some even know, but it's very difficult to leave, right?
mhm.
So what would you advise them? Like, how do they leave such toxic relationship? Literally.
Well, first of all, if you're in a toxic relationship, like there's a lot of people that have been in that position and left, so and have been successful after leaving, right? Like it's not the end of the world because you leave a relationship. There's resources out there, whether it's help or if it's, friends or therapist or the work I do at Thriving Solo, like there's just so many different ways to help yourself if you are, getting out of that. So don't feel like you're alone, number one, because anyone that is in a toxic relationship, because I definitely have been in them, and that also shapes the work that I do. When you're in that place, you're embarrassed, you're afraid that people are going to know what's going on or how you're going to be treated. Maybe it's financial, fear that you're running into. Like, if I leave this person, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to support my children? Like, am I going to have, like, change is hard, right? And especially if it's comfortable. Sometimes you can be in toxic relationships, but be comfortable because you know what you're going to expect. So if you know every single time that your husband leaves for work, and let's say hypothetical, situation, he's having an affair every time he leaves the house, well, guess what? Your mind's already programmed for that. So that's normal for you, even if it's toxic, right? Because you already know it's happening, so you're choosing to ignore it. With that said, same can go for women, right? Like if you have somebody that is going through that, it doesn't have to just be male or female, but really recognizing what the behavior is and looking at it and taking the emotion out of it. I always say to people. So if you're in a situation and something is making you feel off, right? Like your intuition is just jumping out of your skin and you're getting the spidey senses, and let's say every time something happens the hair on your neck goes up, or maybe your stomach feels bad, or you get a headache. That's your body telling you, hey, something's not right. Okay. And it doesn't necessarily have to be medical. It could be interacting. It's somebody's energy. Like, have you ever walked into a room after somebody got into a blowout fight? Like it literally, the air is heavy, right?
Yeah.
It's thick. You have to like clean that space out. And same thing goes too in relationships. Like if you're in a relationship that's toxic and you're really struggling with that and your body's giving you signs that something's off, take the emotion out of it. Remove like, oh, I love this person, or oh, they just bought me a bag last week, so they must care about me. Or you know what? They come home every night, so they must love me, or what's going on. But take all of that out of it and look at the facts and look at the scenario, right? If it's not acceptable for you to do in public or to have a stranger do to you, why would you allow somebody that cares about you to do that in return? And they might be going through something, right? Let's say they have something going on, whether it's stress, maybe it's medical related, maybe it's health, maybe they have unresolved trauma they haven't dealt with. But if you are in a true relationship with somebody, you're going to work together like partners and find a resolution to that. If that's not there, right? Are you really in a partnership, or are you just in a transactional relationship where somebody doesn't really care about you? So, I always say listen
Wow.
to your gut first and then go from there. But usually when you take the emotion out of it, right? Take the love, take the fear out of it, take all of those emotions out and look at the scenario. Would you accept that from anybody else? And usually the answer is no. And then you have to
Wow.
make a choice, strategize. How do I handle this? How do I leave this situation? Like some people are lucky and they have the resources that they can go, you know what, I'm out of here today. But most of us, if you're in a toxic relationship, there is that, that, what do they call it? Trauma bonding. that you
Mm.
do, right? It's like
Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome. And you go with it because it's what feels comfortable. And it really change is sometimes uncomfortable and hard to do, but if you're really looking to make that move, you have to do the work to do it and get yourself out of it because nobody's coming to save you but yourself.
Okay. Wow. Okay, that's a very, interesting take, literally. And yeah, you're the love expert, right? So what you say stands. Okay, so I'm trying to, ask real life questions because these
I
things
love that.
happen. So I have another case that I have seen literally. So let's say for instance someone who dated a toxic person,
Mhm.
right? And she left. She was able to leave the relationship. And then you find out you're dating someone else. You've healed. You've moved on. You are now dating someone else. And that person is still toxic. Like it feels like you keep attracting toxic people. Would you say that's, let's say me, would you say that's my problem? Like am I the reason why I attract toxic people? So what would you say to that situation literally?
Yeah. So, number one, right? We have control over the people that come into our life every day. And you have to practice discernment in relationships. That doesn't mean that you need to be mean, and it doesn't mean that you have to say yes to everything. You just have to really understand what you're looking for. But if you're out of a relationship, you do the work, okay? But you haven't done the work. Maybe surface level, you started to scratch that surface enough that you got out of that toxic relationship. But then you're not doing the daily practice. Absolutely, you will keep attracting back in that energy that you're putting out. And if you do not feel like you're worthy enough for a healthy relationship, or you're not worthy enough for somebody that cares for you in a healthy kind of way, you're going to start going back to what is natural for you, which is that toxic relationship because it's comfortable. You know what to expect and you're hoping for a different result, but you still are not putting out that energetic flow that is attracting in somebody that is going to mirror where you want to be at. So, definitely, if you are attracting the same people, then you are doing something over and over again and not changing your behavior. And that can look like even too, like I fall victim to that. And I can't even call it victim because it's my choices, right? That I'm making on, like I have a choice whether or not I'm going to go on a date with somebody or if I'm going to choose to continue engaging with a person. And it's so nice in those first couple of interactions where they think you're pretty or they're excited to meet you and you're like, ooh, butterflies, chemistry. But you know what? Those butterflies in chemistry sometimes is anxiety and you're anxious and you're excited about meeting somebody new. But that also, too, could be your body responding to this is a red flag. He is so toxic and I'm getting nervous, so I feel a little weird. And people mistake that for chemistry all the time. And it's really anxiety, and you're anxious about meeting somebody for the first time, or you're even future projecting onto this person, like, he's handsome or she's gorgeous and I can picture living in the big house with the white picket fence and the cars and the kids and all that. But you know nothing about this person at all, other than the best foot they're putting forward with you at this point in time. So you absolutely will continue to attract the same people if you do not do the work on yourself and learn from previous mistakes. And also, too, have boundaries that you are staying within. So, for instance, if your boundary is, you know what, I don't want to date another smoker ever again. Or maybe I don't want to date anybody that doesn't care about their physical health. Like if they're sedentary and they just want to watch TV, but they're not active, keep those boundaries. Don't make an excuse of why you're going to allow that into your life because now you're lowering your vibration and it's not aligned with who you are as a human at your core that people don't see underneath everything, right? So you have to stay true to yourself and do the work and stick to your boundaries and not put walls up that, push people away that would match you because you're afraid to fall in love again or to meet somebody.
Wow. Uh, if not that, our time is a bit limited, right?
No
I
worries.
kind of like I had some questions pop up, but I guess that one will be for later if you don't mind. Okay,
Of
so
course.
this one I just want to quickly ask, right? Is it okay? Because you said have standards, have boundaries, right? So is it okay for me to want someone who is more financially stable than I am?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I wouldn't call that gold digging or I don't know.
No, right? Because so for me, like I want to learn from my partners, right? And look, I can support myself and I know that I can do things alone, but I want somebody that is going to add value and not chaos to my life. And if I was with somebody, let's say more financially successful than me, you know what I would love? I could pick their brain and be like, you're an expert at this. How can I learn from you? So anytime you're looking for something, it depends on how you're looking at it, right? Like, are you looking at from we can add value to each other's life? Or even too, let's say hypothetical situation, you're looking for somebody financially successful because guess what? You want an easy, soft life. And but with that, you have that, but there's also things you trade with that as well, right? Like you might say, okay, I want somebody financially stable and I don't want to work and I have an easy, soft life. Well, now are you obligated to do things for this individual that is bankrolling your life that maybe doesn't align with who you are as a person? Or are you looking for somebody with these traits because it's going to add value to your life and you can learn and, really, upgrade your humanism by all the stuff they have to teach you. So,
All right. Yeah. Wow. So this has been really, really amazing. Although I have a whole lot of questions, but I think we'd have to do this some other time, right? Because this is the first time I get to, ask a love expert about love, right? Because it's not something we see often here. So yeah, I really do appreciate that. And finally, what would you define success as?
success. Really, success looks like just being true to yourself and whatever that is. It doesn't have to have a fancy car. It doesn't have to have, any sort of, financial backing to it. Is whatever your goals are and what that looks like. And success some days can look like getting out of bed in the morning and brushing your teeth and putting on clothes. It doesn't have to be some major accomplishment like, you know, creating a book or doing anything wild or having a promotion up to a vice president level. Success is how you feel about yourself and waking up each day with joy, I think. And really, it doesn't have to be tied to money.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, quick question. Quick one.
Yeah.
You said you used to matchmake, right? So, have you matchmaked anyone before that actually got married to each other?
I have not yet. And one thing with my matchmaking, for me, right, I can't guarantee you're going to fall in love with somebody. That's very personal. And I would never even attempt to think that I can. But what I can guarantee is that I will match you with somebody that meets a lot of the criteria that you're looking for. And then from there, it's on you. I can help support it and I can help, detect language or situations. But outside of it, it's how you guys interact on your own. So.
Wow. All right. So, thank you so much. This has been really, really insightful and enjoyable, actually. So, where can listeners get to know more about you?
Yes, and we'll have to come back and finish up the rest of those questions.
All right. Okay. So, can you tell us where, like a website or something
Yeah.
you have?
So if you want to learn more about building with Brylye, you can go to my website. It's buildingwithbrye, BRY.com. And I work with people all over the US. And, my services are virtual as well as I can meet in person as well. And I offer singles empowerment coaching. So if you're just, getting out of a relationship, or maybe you're an empty nester, or maybe you just went through a divorce or whatever it looks like, bringing you back home to yourself so you can be the best version of you. And then when you feel like you're ready for that next step, We can move on to intentional connections, which is the matchmaking side of the business when you've done the work and you're ready to show up as a partner that is healed or going through the healing process and looking for companionship. So I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook as well. So hoping to connect with you all soon.
Okay, well, I'm going to put the link on the description, definitely. So thank you so much, Bryley. I really do appreciate this. Yeah,
Of
and thanks for tuning into Conversations with Sekani. If this episode sparked something in you, make sure to share to someone who you think might need this, and also subscribe so you don't miss out on new episodes. Thank you.